Yeah, they just upped their urgency a little harder in the net front, and we're jumping into plays and making it count when they got opportunities. So they had a push there at the beginning of the second period, and our response just took a little too long, and they were able to get the lead.
How do you explain that at this time of year, Darnell, the 13 on the shot clock, them pushing so hard and you guys not having a response?
It's hockey. It happens. Teams have pushes. Teams respond. Found our way to get ourselves to the third period in a tie game. So our response wasn't non-existent. It was there.
I don't know, you didn't give up much at all off the rush in the first two games. Tonight a lot more. Connor talked about how they stretched it out a bit and you guys seem to get disconnected. How do you, if they want to play the stretch game, what do you have to do to ensure that you're not disconnected?
Yeah, it comes down to just beating guys back to our zone. And then when they do make that play, they have to come through numbers. We didn't make them come through numbers enough when they stretched the zone on us. They're a good offensive team. They obviously play that way and have success doing it. So for us, we just got to make sure that when they're stretching us out like that, we are in between them and the net and make it difficult.
Is it? I mean, it sounds like it's fairly tactical in terms of their changes, but is it battle level? Is it compete level when it gets that far away from you guys at that point?
I mean, it's a combination of everything. I think. It's just finding a shift to grab it back, and it could just be a simple shift, getting the puck in and grinding down a little bit. And we didn't, like I said, we found it later in the second period there, and we were able to tie up the game and go into the tie game there in the third period. And it's we just got to grab it a little quicker.
Kind of similar to last game in the third period, tight check and not a lot of chances, but they find one both times and you guys don't. Frustrating at all, and what do you think you need to do to find one?
Just keep playing. This time of the year, there's balances, and you got to give yourself the opportunity as much as possible. And when the games are tight, we've been in a lot of tight checking games here in the last 2 weeks. So when you just got to give yourself the most amount of chances possible, and want to go in.
Seemingly, you've lost games like this game, Vancouver game in Game 1, but we're able to overcome it. Is that something you can maybe draw on a little bit as you try to bring us back to Game 4?
Yeah, 100%. That's what playoffs is about. All the experience that you build up over the course of the season. So we have some fairly fresh, fairly fresh stuff to draw back on, and for us, we just come out and have a good Game 4.
Kind of reminiscent of the second period from last game.
Yeah, but probably a little worse. I thought, a real good start, obviously, and then, I'm not sure where those 10, 15 minutes come from, but it's as bad as it's been throughout the playoffs. Obviously give them a chance to get back in the game, and, when we come back tied after 2, and just don't find a way.
When it's like 2 or 3 minutes, is there any way to stem that tide so it doesn't extend into that long, what you said, 10, 12-minute kind of stretch?
Well, I mean, obviously that's what we're trying to do. The playoffs are throughout games are about momentum swings, and when you don't have it, you got to wrestle it back. And we obviously didn't do that for the better part of that second period.
How much is that them pushing versus you guys maybe stopping certain things that were working for you before?
I thought it was both. I thought they went up a couple levels, and we went down a few levels, and obviously you see the difference.
What comes out of your game, Connor, at that time?
Well, I thought it was work. They like to play a long game, like a kind of a stretch game, and when they stretch it out, it's tough for us to be connected. And you see us kind of, outnumbered kind of in different situations. I mean, they're obviously a great team, and they're well coached, and when they get into that stretch game and they kind of get it going up and down the rink, it makes us look pretty not connected, I thought.
When you're playing the first period like you did, do you have to bear down and make it 3 if we have the chance, make it 4 if we have the chance? Like, there's a couple of good chances you had to stretch that lead in that first period.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we're always trying to. You're trying to keep playing. We're not trying to. We don't go up by 2 and say let's just hold this all the way through for the next 50 minutes. We're obviously trying to keep playing, and we let one get away there, obviously.
Frustrating because in the third you didn't really give up much. I think they only had 3 shots that we ended up.
Didn't give up much. We didn't get much either. It was pretty tight checking period. Obviously the margins are real small in this series, and pretty similar to last third period in Game 2. Tight checking, they find a way to get one, and we don't.
Connor, you lost a game in Vancouver, game 1 that was kind of similar, but now that we're further along in the playoffs, does this kind of sting a little bit more?
They all sting. Yeah, I mean, they all sting. Losing sucks, obviously, and series are short. And you only get a handful of games, and you never like to get. I'm not going to say we gave it away. They it was 40 minutes, and we were able to wrestle it back, but just don't find a way again.
In that second period, do you feel it slipping away, or is it almost like you get caught by surprise and it sneaks up on you?
Yeah, that's a good question, I guess. You can definitely feel their urgency, their desperation, their level go up, and we just didn't match it.
Certainly nice to be back, excited, all those sorts of things. Felt good physically, so it, just kind of allowed me to just go out and play.
Does it take a while to find the game legs, or did you feel good?
No, I felt pretty good. But you're kind of mindful of those sorts of things going into the game. Simplify quick shifts early on, get yourself into the game, and then you just kind of everything else is from there. You kind of block out and just go play.
What happened between the first and second for you guys? They really had a push.
Yeah, they pushed and we didn't. That was really that's it. They did it. Teams are going to push like that. It's a good team over there. We just have to find a way to calm it down and get back to our game.
I understand why teams push when they're down. What's the response there? Do you feel from your crew, or why did it take a little while to get that response? I should say.
I don't know. We just got to find a way to get those shifts after goals against are always big and important to just simplify and go right back at them, establish our game again. The first period was a great period, I thought. Played fast, played our game, go to forecheck. We're making plays. And then that first 10 minutes of the second, we got away from that, and they had their foot on the gas.
Third period, was a tip in game 2, a bad bounce in here. Do you feel like the third period you guys were doing what you want to do and just got beat by a tough
player? Going to the third, we're tied. It's a tight game. There's the shots aren't crazy high. It's tight. They do a good job in the middle of the ice, out, all those sorts of things, simplifying. The same that we try to do. So they found a way to get one, and we didn't. That was the difference.
Yeah, fourth one I'm not too sure whose stick broke, but shot got through. We had it. We weren't able to get it out, and then they just took advantage. There were two guys at the net, really quick 2-on-1. So I made the read to get out, and thought he was going to shoot 5-hole, so I went down. He got me to bite, went around, and banked it off me. I'd have to watch it back to see exactly how it happened, but I tried my best in the quickness of the situation, and Robertson was able to make a pretty good play, but something that I got to save.
In that situation where you're going back, ideally, do you want your skate inside the post to try to seal the pad off against the post?
Yeah, it depends. Each goalie plays it fairly differently. For myself, being in an overlap there, especially as he's a lefty, so maybe next time I'll just play it a little bit more patiently.
It's a pretty big shift in that game in the second period. What did you kind of see in front of you? You know, you were doing what you could in there, but
yeah, it was a little bit frustrating, just because you knew that they were going to push back. These guys obviously want to make it to the finals, and obviously we do as well, but I think that we just let off the gas a little bit, and then when they started rolling, they just kept rolling. And then once they got momentum, we kind of just, I think as a whole unit, we were just watching them kind of do their thing, and once we started playing again, we got right back into it. But I think we allowed them to kind of do what they wanted for majority of the second period.
How does that happen this time of year?
I'm not too sure. Sometimes it happens this time of season, this time of year, and the faster you learn it, the better of an outcome that will happen in the future. So it's a good lesson learned by all of us, and just make sure that no matter what the score is, especially being in the third round, you know that the teams are just going to let you play and win, and we definitely learned that today.
There seems like there were some things that were reminiscent of the Vegas series, just in the way that team, kind of capitalized and kept the pedal down. Did you feel that, and how do you stop that from happening?
I did not feel that. I mean, that's a long time ago. So don't mean to be rude, but that has nothing to do with what happened today. We have a completely different team. And I think that, honestly, even though that it did happen, we stayed with it. We were able to get that third goal and tie it up 3-3. So you're going into the third period as a 0-0 game. And then it was a minimized mistake, and that cost us the game. So we are, if you think about it that way, it shows us great resiliency, great bounce back, and I think that's a really good look for our team.
The breakaway save on March, you kept that from going 4-2. Can you just give us a read on that and what you're saying?
Yeah, obviously really happy I was able to make that save. I think in that timing it was a crucial save. I think if they get that one, obviously puts us in a much more difficult situation. So he made a really nice move. I was able to stay a little bit patient and got a solid piece of the puck and got into the mesh. And I was pretty happy going back to the bench after that save, and gave us a little bit of momentum. And I think after that we started rolling.
I know you said you felt like you needed that fourth one, but there were some big saves in that game for you too. What's your main takeaway from this night for yourself, would you say?
Yeah, for myself, I think that obviously the fourth goal, it looks bad, but I think overall I played a pretty solid game. There's some lessons for me to learn, and I think overall I just got if you look at it just as anybody, you just can't be letting in 4 goals, especially against the Dallas Stars, how good they are defensively, and they can just stymie you defensively. So the main thing is I just can't be letting in that many goals.
When you say you want to be more patient the next time on that fourth goal, take us into your mindset as far as what does being patient that moment mean to you?
Yeah, I think just maybe not going out right away. I think essentially I want to make him make the first move and just follow him. Now that's very easy to say, but I think that's a challenge for me to get better at.
Stretch the first 10 minutes or so in the second.
Yeah, it was a complete reversal of the first period. I think they really were ready to come out hard and have a good push. And we were just kind of, hopefully things would just continue sailing the way it had in the first period, caught us by surprise. And, after one of the TV timeouts, we were able to settle things down and get our game back to where it should have been. But, I think we had our start that we needed, but we took our foot off the pedal.
Center left.
Chris, your defense tonight at times, 2 goals specific, where you had possession of the puck, inability to get it out and led directly to goals. You need better puck movement from your back end at times in your own zone.
Yeah, whether it's better puck movement from our defensemen or better support from our forwards, it's usually just not one or the other, but it's important to get those pucks out and keep them moving into our forwards' hands.
Front right, Josh.
Chris, just in those moments in the first 10 minutes, what does it feel like on the bench? You guys know they're going to come out strong, but like they just had the puck for 10 straight minutes, basically. What's the feeling on the bench? How do you get that momentum back?
You just need one strong shift. You need one line to step up and put in a good shift, spend some time in the offensive zone, and just takes one line to do it. And after one line does it, then the next line, it's much easier for them to get some momentum. And fortunately, we were able to stop the damage and tie it up in the second period. And it came down to a 20-minute game, and unfortunately, we could have went either way in that third period, and unfortunately, we came on the wrong end of it.
We'll go back to the fourth row on the left.
Over here, Chris. You changed up your second and third pairing, defensive pairings midway through that game. Just want to get some thoughts on the logic that went into that.
Just we need, just like forwards change, or we change the forward line sometimes, and defense also. Just things hadn't been going well in the second period. We needed to change some kind of rhythm and flow, and felt that maybe that was the best way to do it.
Back right, Daniel.
Chris, Stuart Skinner was, fairly critical. He said he can't be allowing 4 goals against a team like Dallas, especially with the way that they defend. I just wondered what you thought of your goaltenders' play, especially, in that second period.
I don't think he had much opportunity in the second period. They had the looks that they had. I don't think there was any bad goals, and he made some key saves when he needed them to. Probably the one that stands out to me is they had all that momentum. I'm not sure if it was right before or right after our third goal. Made that huge breakaway save. That probably a big turning point, and there's always goals that go in. Like it happens, but I like the saves that he made, and he gave us a chance to win it.
Any other questions? We'll go front right to Andrew.
Just looking for your thoughts on Robertson with the individual effort there to take the lead in the third.
Sorry, can you...
The individual effort by Robertson and his whole night, what he did against you guys.
Good hockey player. Dallas has a lot of good hockey players. We can't shut them all down. They're going to have their nights.
You guys have, Chris, you had the puck a lot in the third period, lots of shots. Your team hasn't scored a third period goal in the series, if I'm not mistaken. At some point, do you need somebody to make a play once in a while? Do you just need someone to get something done here that hasn't done it yet?
That something was almost Vinny. With about 7 minutes left with a one-timer off the goal post. That was almost our play. The effort's been there. We've had our opportunities to score goals in the third period, and we're talking about goal scoring after game 2, and we were able to find some goal scoring, and it's going to come.
We'll go front right, Josh.
Chris, just a word on Adam Henrique and what he brought to you after a long layoff.
You never know what a player's going to bring after a long stretch of not playing. And usually it's he's playing really good in playoffs, but just the tempo and the speed and how fast it is in the playoffs. Usually it's very difficult for a player to find their game, but I don't think he had any problems. He made a lot of nice plays, obviously, with the goal. I thought he was pretty good on the face-off, and it was nice having him, Henrique, back with us, and hopefully it just continues to build on his game. But overall, for first game, it was good.
Second row left, Ryan.
Chris, when it's getting away from you in the second period there, what are the things, you said you're looking for a shift, what are the things that each guy needs to hop the boards thinking to themselves, I got to make sure I go do this, to try and get some of that back? What can they do?
Make a play. Mostly it's just getting the puck. It's a race for a puck or a battle for a puck, and just guys building up on those little plays over and over again. That's where 95% of the game is. It's not the system. It's usually just making a simple pass, winning a battle, winning a puck race. It's those little things. It's not that when things aren't going well, we need to change our system, or we can make some tweaks and stuff, but it's ultimately just out there and executing and making a play.